All right. Let's see now. Are we live? Are we live? We're live. Let's hear the audio feed. We're live. Let's hear the audio. Okay. That is coming through loud and clear. So, with that, we can resume our efforts here. So, one thing that I like to do, is check what I've done, check what I've done. What did I do yesterday? Okay. Huh. It's kind of odd. Did I leave? Yeah, I left that in there. Okay. So the first thing I did was implement some layer stuff, but I'm going to adjust that commit quick there. So I didn't add something silly to it. But yeah, I added a layer selector. We can look at that here. Layer select, Q and A. And I was going to add mouse support to the layer selector. So first thing is make it transparent. Forgot to do that. So yeah, now you can see behind it. It's good. And yeah, I also changed. Okay. Replace decrement macro with minus minus. It does feel very wrong to be by the way, thanks to the new followers I've gotten in the last day, Bugyana, Dankly Tuned, Kionius, and Yplog. So if any of you guys are watching, if anyone's watching, feel free to comment. We'll I'm here to respond to you, Anyway, so all this, okay. Make layer select transparent. All right. Now, we want to do a few things today. So I'm going to go ahead and make actually a to-do. See, do I have org mode here? I think I do. Yep, I do. So we're going to have a to-do here. So here's my plans for this game. All right, let's lay them out. We've got to add objects system. Yeah. So the object system, you can describe this here. I'm going to go 2 levels of depth here. To-do list. I don't know. What would I call this? I don't even know. I just feel like I need to go 2 levels of depth. Well, I can always do that later, to be honest. So the object system is going to be render objects to the tile map. So instead of storing tiles in a level, store a list of objects. These objects will render tiles to the tile map so it can be we'll render tiles to the tile map. Nobody wants to build levels in a game just using purely isometric tiles. Like, say you wanted to build a house out of isometric tiles. What you want is the tiles for the house to be laid out in a useful way, and then you want them to be assembled, where you can maybe change the width or height or color of the house without having to switch out all of the component tiles. So we want objects with properties to be the actual level data, right? So we're going to call that object system. I'm also going to add to the to-do editor zoom. So right now the editor can only view the game at native resolution. Well, we've got a modern PC here, so why don't we allow the editor to zoom in and out? Right? So I may implement that today. Also, we want to have a player character and enemies, possibly, maybe other things, right? So I have to think about in actors system, which actually has multiple component parts, because actors are not tiles. So we have to figure out how to get the level map renderer to render the actors. Still no chat. We have to figure out how to get the level actors to render in the level map alongside the tiles with the correct depth ordering and all of these other things, right? We need to make a player actor. That will give us a sense of what to do in general. You know, that's going to have a bunch of component parts as well, like, you know, the collision system and all this. So yeah, I mean, yeah, collision system, that's important, all this. But let's go back to the tile editor here as well. So the object system has multiple components as well. Let's break it all down a little bit here. So we'll go with first, we have to think about our first object. What will that be, right? And then, you know, I have to think about this, right? So this is something I can't break down too easily, but I want to mark the object system as in progress. I want to work on the object system right now. And I need to mark that somehow. So to do in progress marker, because there a way to do this here? Progress logging. Prompt for a note and record the time to do state change. Oh. So there's to do wait. Okay, hold on. To do Command C, Command T. Oh, gives me all my options. Oh, that's very nice. That is very nice. So, start STRT. Is that going to what? Start. What is STRT? I'm assuming it means that it's started or in progress. But that was Command CT. Yep. Oh, loop. This is confusing. This is very confusing. Maybe this is why I wanted to have a top level. So we have to do, right? This is the will do in progress. Okay, here we go. In progress. The object system. Will do editor zoom. The actors system. Good enough. Now, let's get started on this. So the first thing is I want to see what levels, right. Levels test. So here's the level map for this, right? Now, this is going to have to be a little bit smarter. So we're going to go back to my little tile here. So let's make our first object. How should I do? What's the best way? Well, I'm gonna have to do this eventually, adding the ability to have, you know, a varying size of things, kind of. But let's start by just not doing a varying tile map. So what I mean is that in Love2D, right, I have, if I want to put multiple graphics in one image, I have to create a system to split them out. Which is not that complicated, but I'm going to do that later. For now, I'm going to think about, so right now we have our glider, right? This is our level, it's the glider. I think what I'm going to do is do this. Replace the glider with a 3x3 cube. Okay? So, first object is a cube. Size x 3, size y 3, size z 3. Why is it complaining? Name expected near 3. Oh yeah, I'm writing JavaScript right now. This is Lua, not JavaScript. Okay. Now, x equals 0, y equals 0, z equals 0. Right. All right. This will do. You know what? I don't like all this madness though, so we'll do this. Position equals 0, 0, 0. Size equals 3, 3, 3. There. Comma. Cube position is 0. Size is 3 by 3 by 3. Okay. Now, back to the level map here, right? Wow, this is very simple. Nice. So now, when we draw the layers, when we draw the map and all this, we can't do self.map.tiles, right? Tiles. There we go. Let tiles is self.map.layers index tiles, right? So we're going to separate this out here. So instead of self.map.layers, etc., we are going to do self.tiles, which we'll do here. Tiles. Now, this is an interesting problem where previously I could just trivially calculate the dimensions of the map. Well, now I can't. unless I specify. Well, I do specify them here. So I guess for now, we'll do not x size and z size, but we'll do size equals, here we go, x size, y size, z size, 10 by 10 by 10 map. Okay, good. Now this is a time for the point types to come into play here. So I made a sort of generator here for meta methods, right? And that will enable me to have like point types that are pretty useful, right? So I just have to define some operators here. List of Lua meta methods. So here you go. All right. Have to make a special case for the unary minus. That's okay. So point.mt. Okay, just set point mt.m to negate the value. There. All right. I will have to test these eventually, but it's okay. So, so what I want this point 2 thing to do is to just be a 2D point, but what I actually want is a 3D point. All right, and I think that I should just have what is it? Vec2 and Vec3. These are the names that I've seen used in shaders. Is Vec2 and Vec3. I like how short they are, and I think people will be able to figure out what things are. So, for example, instead of doing all this math I'm going to have to do when writing this engine, by doing x plus x, y plus y, z plus z every single time, I want to have point types with really nice operator overloading in order to just streamline everything. So, what I really want to do is make a function called assign operations. Okay. Yeah. So all this assigning in here is going to happen in here. And here's our class. Has to be a class. And all I have to do is define. So after defining map and map2 for a given class, turn it into a point type. Simple enough. Now, because if I could make a map n function, that would be better, but it would require me to put f at the start, meaning I couldn't do like say I instantiate a point and I call it PPP. All right, I want to be able to do PPP colon map, right, and then multiply. I mean, obviously I could just do, you know, mul2. So this would give me the value of, right? Wait a minute. Yeah, it returns the value. So yeah, I'm not modifying things in place if I don't have to. You know, I prefer not to do that. But I'm just thinking like with map, it's like this. But if I wanted to do map n, it would be dot map n. And then I would have to feed it into itself as the argument, right? But the benefit is that I could just keep on adding stuff after map n. And if I do that, I can create a single map function, right? Like so. Is that no? No, I can't just do that. Also, if I want to do like a map 2, you know, map 2 different points together, then I would be doing, you know, point 1 dot map 2, then point 2, then the function. But what if I did this? Point 2, just put it in an array after here and make it an optional, like this. So then I can do dot map da, and then optionally include an array of the rest. Right? Because I need to do like something where I take the x coordinate out of all of the rest values. You know? If I want to do like an arbitrary number of mappings. So you could put together 3 points and do this, put together 4 points and do this, you know? You could sum an arbitrary number of points, right? That would be like the Lispy way of doing it. And I don't want to have to do it just by appending an array at the end, you know? I want this to feel very like Lispy, right? So what's my best bet here? What's my best bet? You know? It's hard to say. It is honestly hard to say. Like, what I need to do, if I want to like really make this work in a Lispy way, is to just have a function like this. How about pmap, right? Or how about map vec2, right? Function map vec2, which gives any number of arguments, but the first argument is a function. Is that right? Like in Clojure, for example, right? In Clojure, I'll look it up. I'll look it up on my own machine. Clojure map, right? Clojure map is map f collection. Okay, so I could do map vec2. What it would do is let the x's be now here's where I need to look at the Fennel functions, because what I want is a Fennel function that will take a list and give me a list modified by a function, the function in question being the indexing, right? So like you know, function index list could give me like, you know, it takes a list, an index, and then what does it do? It's gonna be one of these like f collect, I collect, something like that. Let's see. Here we go. The I collect takes an iterator binding table, returns a sequential table containing all values produced by each iteration of the macro's body. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So I collect IV, I pairs, L, right? With what function? With dot L index. Yeah. Okay. So mapvec2 will give me f of f with table.unpack index list of dot 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 and x. Yeah. Even I could do this even more extreme. So we could do map vec n. So we get all of the fields of, no, that's not going to work because I can't just get all of the fields of a vector n, right? So like I still need an explicit argument to tell me what are the coordinates, right? What are the coordinates going to be in all of this? Right? But guess I will do this. Point dot map. This gives you a point constructed out of this. Out of x and y. Simple enough. Simple enough. So the result of this is that you have to feed the point into itself. So I guess I'll call this point.mapn, and then we'll also have a point.map1, right? So I want to generate, this here. So I want to do a tset class mapn to a function that takes f, right? Class, and then here we have fields, right? So we do class.map1, which just does an operation on every field. Wait, what? Okay. So we instantiate the class. No. Okay, we instantiate the class with all of this. All right. Returning a list that indexes the list with a given index. That is not helpful. That is not helpful. Given a list and index, return a new list which indexes each entry by index. Okay, there we go. That's more clear. Now, after defining map and map2 for a given class, we don't even have to define that. Given a list of field such as x, y, z, do this the right way here. Given a list of fields such as x, y, z, who's watching, by the way? Is anyone gonna want to leave a comment? Given a list of fields such as x, y, z, generate operations for the class. For example, plus P1, whoa, for example, plus P1, P2, which is the same as point P1.x, right, point plus P1.x, P2.x, plus P1.y, P2.y. Fields x, y. So, given a class and a list of fields, generate operations for the class. For example, given fields x, y, operation plus 2y will be the same as that. Cool. So instead of assign operations, we can do generate operators. All right, cool. And instead of empty values, we're going to call this operators. Sub mul div, add sub mul div. What else do we get? Did I really close the Lua reference here? Here they are. Add sub mul div idiv. I don't know about this. idiv is actually useful, but like, wait, Luajit 2.1 reference. Really? All right. idiv in this repo. I have a suspicion that the idiv operator does not exist in Luajit 2.1. I could always test it, but I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna go mod I'm not gonna use POW. Not gonna use bitwise. Okay. Binary operators. Okay. So we have our binary operators. We have our unary operators as well, right? Gives you, but yeah. Anyway, I'll add more as needed to this. So we're generating the operators. Fuck closure brackets. Subhuman paraclete. What do you mean closure brackets? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let's see. Closure brackets. Okay, I think this guy's just angry. I don't know. I'm not really sure what kind of point he's trying to make. So, generate operators. Like maybe you prefer if like the curly braces and square braces were all just parentheses. Because I mean, I could see that. I could definitely see that. But coming from Lua doesn't bother me. It's pretty obvious what to do in a given situation. So anyway, all right. Generate operators. Right now, so map one. Why is it so insistent on this? Like I can't. I have to do this. Can't just bulk indent. It's kind of annoying. All right, so map one just is a function that just takes f and then gives you a class, right? Where so for each field, we do I collect fields for each field, and we're going to unpack that. So table.unpack. Yeah. I'm also curious, hold on a minute. Legit table.unpack. Because this is another thing. Do I have a Fennel LSP somewhere? Like that would be really helpful. I think I do actually. Like over here, right? Can I just do like Lua? Do I have LuaJit? Okay. Just give me a shell with LuaJit. Okay. So LuaJit. Then can I just do lib/fennel.lua? Or I have like a Fennel binary. Oh, okay, here's Fennel. Here's my Fennel REPL. It's very, very helpful. Because we have unpack, right? Oops. Unpack 1, 2. That gives me 2. Why? I'm not really sure. What if I do table.unpack 1, 2? Is that right? Okay, so in Lua 5.3 they renamed unpack to table.unpack, and I was just doing that, but that is completely unnecessary. So these are all just unpack. It's helpful. But yeah, class, which is instantiated by unpacking, I collecting the fields, and then doing the operation. What operation? Indexing the, yeah, right. Indexing self, right. Self dot self v, and then running f on it. f of dot self v. Good. And then map n is going to be similar, but instead of f of dot self v, it's going to be f of unpack again. F of unpack index list dot 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 v. Okay. Neat. I'm going to change this next line to highlight the difference, I suppose. Maybe make this look a little bit nicer. But unpack, collect, iPairs fields, you should be able to figure out what that is. F of dot self v, you should be able to figure what that is. Right? Yep. And then you can do dot map n. Right? And then it will take in. Okay, so this is dot map 1, and this is dot map in, where the key is that, and the value is the function that we want to call on first two arguments. Right. Okay. All right. Unary operators. No. Right. Point colon map 1. Oof. So point dot map n is not being called as a with a self argument. I don't know about that, because if I add a self argument here, it's not that hard to put like a dot self v right here, just so that you always get that as the first argument, right? So map 1, I'm going to look through this because I think this code is erroneous. I'm pretty sure here. I mean, I'm sure I've got lots of little errors that I can kind of flatten out here, but like, so for each unary operator, give the meta table a field, which is the name of said operator. All good so far. And calling it will call the map1 function with, we'll call the map1 function with the value of it, which is a function that takes arguments. It only takes one argument, like that. And for the binary operators, do the same, but with 2. Okay. So this is interesting. This is very interesting. I'm going to put the constructor up here. Okay. And we're going to rename point to vec2. All right. And then we want to generate operators for vec2 with fields x, y. Okay? So let's see how this code fails, because I'm very curious about it. All right. Line 8. Expected name and value. Well, expected name and value for local binary operators. Is there not a name and value, right? There's a name. Oh. Oops. It's not a name and a value. It's a name and a bunch of values. Right? This is not supposed to have a closing brace here. Right. Okay. That should work. Unknown identifier in strict mode F. Okay. Where's F? Here. Function that takes self F. Which is closed immediately right here. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. Alright. Let's fix this. Alright. Alright. Good. Oh. Shoot. I started rewriting this while I was in the middle of rewriting the editor, guys. I got so sidetracked by my desire to generate operators efficiently. And this, I'm sorry for this. This is like deep code because I'm using an obscure language to do something specific and obscure inside of Lua itself. So, like, if you're lost with this whole operator generation, I'm sorry. There's probably like a few people out there who, if they found this, would be astounded at what I'm doing. And for the rest of you, I'm apologizing. But it is what it is. So let's continue. So self. Okay, so the tiles are composed of layers in this level map, right? And I knew I was going to have to use a point type, so I started writing some really crazy point type generation stuff. But for now, let's just take the old map here, this old map data, right, and just feed it in. Oops. Don't want that, but jeez, hold on a minute. Here. Replace the commas with spaces here, please. There we go. Wait, I do want to just do it in this range, though. There we go. Now. So, layers, okay, we'll just do self.layers. Okay, simple enough. The layers are going to just be this. Right? just so I have something. I don't even know why I would do this, to be honest. This whole thing is pointless. Like, literally, what am I doing? I'm just gonna do this. Layers. Tiles. 0. So there's one layer with nothing in it. Now it won't complain, probably. Right. Editor. Oh. Alright. Whatever. So the thing I actually want to test is this point generation, right? So I actually do require 0.2, and there's no problem with it yet. We'll see though, we'll see. So what happens when I instantiate a vec2 with 5 and 10? Okay. Let's print that out actually. What happens when I instantiate 1? What happens when I unary minus 1? What happens when I multiply 1? Okay. Let's find out. It should fail because I'm not perfect here. Right, I have to use GPP. Alright, because it's a global technically. There we go. So the constructor works and failed to initialize file system. Huh? I'm sorry. Can you failed to initialize file system? Huh? What? Wait, what? If I delete this from here, it doesn't fail to initialize the file system. But when I try to print this operator, it tries to initialize the file system. What is going on? No. What? What? Is it the use of iCollect? Did I not use iCollect yet? Is this the problem? Like, what is going on here? One, two, three, right? All right. So this should print out 3, 4, or 2, 4, 6, right? If it's working. Okay. Expected even number of values in table literal. Right. It's an array, actually. It printed out 3 functions. What? Wait, what? What's going on? I'll go back to the iCollect example. Oh yeah, you just put your code in. There's no need to quote it. Right? But then what okay, right. Times 2 b, because it binds it there. 2, 4, 6. Okay, iCollect works. There's no problem with iCollect. Guys, this is confusing. This is really confusing. So, to summarize what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to generate a point type called vec2 such that when you call, for example, unary minus on vec2, right, or maybe normal minus, it will apply to every field of the vec2. So the vec2 contains x and y coordinates. It's a coordinate type. And if you multiply it by 2, then it will actually multiply the both x and y by 2. Or if you multiply 2 points, it'll multiply the x of point 1 with the x of point 2, y of point 1 with the y of point 2, etc. And all I'm doing is trying to find an elegant way of doing all this while also being able to support both a 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional type, right? So I'm generating the bindings for that. Now I'm testing out the bindings for that. And what it's telling me is failed to initialize file system when I try to use these bindings. Failed to initialize file system. You have any idea what's going on, guys? You have any idea? Seg fault. I changed the code slightly. Now it is seg faulting. Why are you seg faulting? So it's calling map 2 or map n. It's calling map n. Is this because of var args? Is this because of var args? Like, if I change this to map 2 instead of map n, and I change this to self f other, right? And I replace this with f of dot self v dot other v, like so. It's a Stack Overflow now. Sub is calling sub is calling sub. Okay. So it's a Stack Overflow, guys. It's a Stack Overflow. It's calling itself recursively, running out of memory, and scary enough, it is somehow, instead of seg faulting or Stack Overflow like it should be doing, it is telling me something completely unrelated because it's overwritten some memory somewhere. Computers, friends. Computers. This is why you can never trust, like, you have a fantasy console, right? Like, you know, it's kind of like it simulates the experience of having an old Nintendo, and you plug the cartridge in to your old Nintendo, right? But the difference is that it's just a bunch of like Lisp code or Lua code or something, and some graphics. And so it's a file you load, right? Or yeah, or say you have an emulator, right? You're loading a file into your emulator. You can never, ever trust the file that you're loading into the emulator. You can't trust it because it's going to do things that you don't anticipate, like this. I mean, this error just shows that this computer's going into a very sort of incomprehensible space. Now, I think I know how to fix this problem. I think I know. let's see. So it's calling map2, right? And why is map2 calling? So it's calling map2. Map2 is calling sub, right? And sub is subtracting index v of self from index v of other. So if I print v, right, is this gonna even, it doesn't like this. Yeah, it doesn't like this. So we'll just wrap it in a do. So if I print v first, it is it's not printing it. Wait, what? It's not, it's running it. I'm assuming it's running it. Let's print out the args. And it calls map2. No. You're not, it's not going to print out the args. It's calling this. Jeez. Guys, I did not know I would be running into something very weird like this. This is what happens when you use a niche language. Oh. Okay. So, map2 is definitely going to be getting called here, as far as I can tell. Right? So, because it's doing this function, it sets it sets all this together. So it's setting meta table. I'm gonna inspect the meta table actually. Let's look at the meta table for vec2. See what's in it. Okay. So we've got add, div, index, all this. These are all functions. They're varying functions. That's good. Now, map2 of this is setting it to a function which will call map2 using, wait, do I have to double wrap the function? That? No, wait. Because what I wanted to do is call map2 with a function, because it takes a function as the first argument. So not with a value, right? So for each operator, right? I don't even need this, all this. Just do v, right? Doesn't this just work? Just give it v. The value is the function. Okay. Now we have a different error. 29. Attempt to index up value other. Right. So map1 of v, that's for unirator. And then for binary, it should put other into the place it goes, right? Still not working. We're getting somewhere though. We're getting somewhere. Now, I do want it to feed that in there. Map2 takes 2 arguments, right? Well, this should actually be class.map1, not vec2. It should be class.map1. That's our first mistake. Our third or fifth or 20th mistake. Class.map1. I feel like I'm getting somewhere now. Class metatable method. The first argument of it needs to be class still, though. But I don't think it likes if you define functions in that way. So we'll do it this way, okay? Still not getting the other. Still not getting the other. Okay. But we're getting somewhere. Oh, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. This has to be unary. Okay. Point to FNL line 6. Attempt to perform arithmetic on local underscore 241, a nil value. What about the binary operation? Does that work? Still no. So let's walk through this again. This is giving you a thunk. The thunk. So when I set the class metatable method, I've set it to a function that takes the, not the class as the first argument, actually, but the instance. The instance as the first argument. So it actually has to be fed in to the instance. Folks, we did it. We have done it. Let's see, the binary operation also works. Guys, we have done it. Wow, this is, I have to say, Fennel is just Lisp in general, but Fennel, insanely powerful, just insanely powerful. Do you have any idea what the equivalent Lua code would look like to generate meta methods like this? I have a feeling it would just be miserable. But this is actually relatively elegant. Honestly, this is fairly elegant, fairly readable. Now, it does lead me to wonder if I just did one map function like this that takes var args, right? And then I put in that index list, right? Like that. Could I simplify it that way? Even further. Does it still work? No. What's the problem? The var args actually came in as a nil, didn't they? That's odd. Or no. They need to be put into... No. Yeah. Put the var args into an array. Does that even work? Is that even a thing? The unary worked, but the binary didn't. How do we do this? How do we do this? You can do select operator. Okay. All right. Lua put varargs into array. Wait a minute. Is this even helpful? Folks, we're in the Wild West here. Lua varargs are one of the worst documented parts of Lua. This is a time when I would want to actually email Roberto Luyemski or the mailing list or something and just be like, can you please make varargs comprehensible to me? Please. All right. GAB. Arg. And library for manipulation of vararg. Lua library. And it allows you to iterate over the varargs. Oh. That's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. So you can collect them just by putting them in a little braces? Really? Really? Does that just work? Just work? Okay. Expected even number of values in table literal. Right. Yeah, it's a table literal. You can't, that's why I tried doing an array literal, but now it's telling me some other stuff that is kind of incomprehensible to me. I do not know how to work with Lua varargs. I'm gonna be honest. I really just don't. Is it really that essential? It's not. It honestly is not. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. What did I do here? Yeah. We're gonna leave it as is. It's pretty good. Doesn't need to be perfect. So why did I do all this stuff? Well, the reason, and I've been streaming for an hour and 13 minutes. Hey, an hour to create this, I'm actually pretty proud of. I'm pretty happy with this. What we're gonna do here is actually this. Oops. So rename point2 to vec.fnl. Okay. And I know globals. I know. But look at this. Now we have vec3. Look at that. And that beautiful deconstructor syntax that I just learned. Look at that. So now we have a vec3 type that can do three-way operations. Isn't that special? Let's go back to our wrapper where we're testing all this stuff here. Just do it with a vec3 as well. Why don't we? Okay, just to see everything in action here. Okay. Problem. Vec3 doesn't exist. Right. Vec. Right. Where do I include util? It's right there. Okay. Creates global vec2 and vec3. Very good for game programming. Okay, and it wants me to do this. But oh, and that 5, 10, 15, minus 5, minus 10, minus 15, 10, 20, 30. All right. Round of applause. Round of applause. So what I have just done is actually really cool. I think any game developers watching this who are interested in using Fennel with Love2D, which I would highly suggest, by the way. I've done lots of Love2D with Lua and lots of Love2D with MoonScript. Maybe not as much with MoonScript because it's highly painful to use. But doing it with Fennel is just an absolute joy. It's wonderful. And once you get a sense of all of these like Lisp thingies, you know, it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So, I mean, this much code, like 30 or 40 lines of code to create those really special types. These really useful types. I mean, just gorgeous. All right. So, we're going to say created vec2 and vec3 types for coordinate calculations. For coordinates. All right, cool. So I'm going to be pretty opportunistic about using those. Let's take this test code out of here and include this as part of the commit. Now, on to other things here. So we're back to the editor, and let's go back to the level map here, actually. Right? So I have the test level. What is it? It's oops. Test/map.lua. Cube here. So let's go and what I'm gonna do is get some water. I'll be right back. So, layers, tiles, all this. I think that if we know the X and Y size of the map, then we can lay things out a certain way. So we already have here, let's see, show up on screen. A little bit. So we have the X and Z layout, which correspond to the map this way, right? And we want to list the contents bottom to top for the layers, right? So in the editor, I have an alternative drawing function here, draw. So this level map, draw map, it's not being used. It's editor that's .draw that's being used, right? So, I can override draw layer. And I guess it's okay to keep it layout the way it was before. It's okay. It'll do. It'll do. Now, let's go iterate through these objects here. So this is the key. First, I'm gonna think about some 3D iteration, maybe, because what the layers are gonna be for each layer for all this, right? Really, what am I gonna do here, right? What am I gonna do? I need to collect everything, right? So the layers are going to use a big old accumulator of some kind here. What is it? What is it called again? Accumulate. So it's going to be like a big old fold, pretty much. Yeah, big old fold. Accumulate into a table here. Wait. Okay. So the table. Wait. Okay. So the table will be called layers. Simple enough. Accumulate into layers. Object index. Not that important. The object value. That's what's important here, right? And can I deconstruct into here? Hopefully we can. That would be very cool. We'll do type equals cube. So we get the type, right? And then why is this like this? Why is this like this? Okay, this is fine. Type pose size. I don't like that it's not highlighting it, so maybe I do have to do like a separate let bind. I think that would be beneficial here. But let's just print them out for now, and we'll go from there. So yeah. And I have to tell it what it's doing here. It's going to be I-pairs of map.objects. Alright. I'm going to be really stupid here for now. We'll just do pp of type pose size. Oh, the word type is highlighted. That's not even a keyword, is it? Is it like a... No, there's not like a type operator. I'm sure that there's io.type. Well, this is very silly. Lua doesn't have a type keyword. List of keywords. Really? Really? What are all the keywords in Lua? There's no type keyword in Lua. Guys, come on. You make the word type purple. Getting me all confused here. There is no specialness to that. I almost want to modify Fennel mode so it doesn't do that to me. What? Right. So we're gonna print these out. I think you can take multiple args like this. Yeah, we'll see. So we print it out and then just give an empty table. And it should be fine. No, hold on. Hold on a minute. Okay. What's going on with wrap.fnl? Oh, it's one line of semicolons that got deleted. Oh no. Alright. Pairs map.objects. There is no map.objects. What are you talking about? Well, there is. There is a map.object. And it's oh, this is not a let bind. This is not a let bind. Alright. Well, now it is. Now it is. Alright. Oh, cube. Okay, so PP doesn't give me everything, but this is helpful enough. Now we're gonna not do this, and we're going to do something else. Right. So, within the accumulate, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We have to know about a constructor for the cube. It has to know how to build a cube, right? And I could hard code this, but let's not hard code it. Let's not hard code it. But I want like a cube constructor, right? So how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? Well, let's do it this way, okay? We'll make a folder called objects and cube .fnl objects cube. Alright. How are we going to define the cube's like renderer, right? So we have to, I think I know how to do it. So the best way to do it is to just give me a function called render, right? And it's going to take in the layers, and it's going to take in the parameters of the object, right? In this case, pose and size, but layers and the params, which are going to be pose, size, okay? And it's going to return a modified copy of layers that contains the object. Yes. That's it. That's what it's going to do. All right. For now. I'll probably find ways to add like maybe helper functions or something, but this will do for now. This will do. Layers, pose, size. Now we have to do some 3D iteration just for fun here. So for x from pose.x to plus size.x pose.x. Oh man. Oh man. I will find a better way of doing this at some point. This is something. This is really something. then it would be well, okay, first of all, I missed a Y here. Second of all, should I return, is it easier to, see, it's more functional. It is more functional if I return a modified copy of layers here. But is it easier to return a modified copy of layers than to simply modify the layers? I don't know. Maybe I'll try it both ways. Maybe I'll do both ways. So this is the modified copy of layers approach. First, we have to iterate Y. Okay, we can't iterate X first. Have to iterate Y. Now, right. We want to give us a copy of layers Y with all this in it, right? So here we want to return, okay, wait a minute. How are we going to do this? I mean, I know how the modification approach works. I know how that works, easy. Because I would be doing a wait. Yeah, I would be doing a pretty nested set t-set operation. So t-set layers Y. No, not too nested. Tiles, right? Because it's layers.tiles. 2. Oh, wow. Tiles. Yeah. There we go. Indexed by, how do we calculate this? We do, it needs to know the map size. It does. Now, here's the thing. Do I have to have an explicit map size? Because Lua is a very magical language, right? In Lua, I can have a sparse array. You know, Ruby people get all excited about this. You have a sparse array because arrays are just kind of like maps. So if I do all my iteration, right, with the drawing of layers and such, sparsely, I mean, I have to rewrite some engine stuff here. You know, right now the engine is stupid simple. It goes through the tiles in order it draws them, right? And if I want to make it work like that, then I have to, like, do what exactly? You know, get all of the pairs, key value pairs, out of the tiles table, and then, like, then what? Get all the key value pairs out of the tiles table, sort them by drawing order, and then draw them all. That's what I would have to do. Instead of just, like, laying out the data in these sort of, like, clean sequential layers where I get this internal simplicity here for the sake of what exactly, right? So is it worth it to make this more complicated to make this more simple? I think yes, because there's going to end up being a lot of objects in this. So I want to do that, but barring making the objects simpler by making the engine more complicated, I could also create helper methods for object generation. So I could do like, fill area 3 or something, and it would just fill up all this range with the same value. That would solve the problem too. But for now, I'm going to go with a stupider approach, a simpler approach here. Okay? It does have to know the size of the map though. Okay? So it can't just take layers, it has to take the whole map. Wait. No. Wait a minute. Or alright, what about this? Instead of layers, takes in a function called set tile. Okay. Alright. Set tile. Right. Vec3 xyz to 1. That's not too bad. That is not too bad. Which means I have to create a function called level map dot set tile. Neighbor's making noise here. Level map dot set tile. Right. And takes in x, y, and z. Yeah, it's better this way. This is a little table here, okay, and then the value. Set tile, xyz value. And instead of even doing set tile, I could just have it like return enough data that it can call set tile accurately, something like that. We're gonna see. I just don't want to get to a point where I'm like making all of these objects and then all of the sudden, like you have to, you have to do something else now. So to avoid that, I'm gonna have set tile be a deconstructed value. That way I can continuously add lots and lots of nice little methods to be called in this render callback without ever having to like get messed up by being like, oh shoot, what if I want to get a tile? So I can, for example, have two intersecting objects that do something at the intersection, or what fill area, like that command I was thinking of, like what if I do enough of that it becomes useful, or that kind of thing. This is all going to be functions in the level map builder that I have to think about. But neither here nor there. Level map set tile should be pretty trivial function here. So it would be what? Tset needs a self argument. Okay. Maybe this is what that guy meant by fuck closure brackets. Maybe he meant that he forgets to square these brackets here. Set tile. Okay. Tset dot self layers. layers Y, tiles. What's the index? Do this. Tile index. Tile index xz gives you plus times self.map.size.z times z plus x. Okay. Good enough. Now, when I set the map size here, right, I can do... Okay. Yeah, this is one reason to have this be Fennel. This is one reason. Like, why do I have Lua in the middle of my Fennel? What would this look like as Fennel? Right? It would look like this. It's literally just the same code, but shorter. Yeah, it's the same code, but shorter. So simple, man. So simple. Now, size 10, 10, 10, all this. But if it has both the map.fennel and the map.lua, like, which one is it even gonna load? I don't even know. I think despite all of the extra bells and whistles in the Lua is a bit easier to read. It is a little bit easier to read. I don't know. I don't know about this. And Lua is easier to generate programmatically than Fennel, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, the whole reason is because I wanted maps to be generatable programmatically, right? So I can just spit out a .lua file, and I am pretty sure it is easier to generate a .lua file. Not certain. I'm not certain. I could be wrong. But, you know, is what it is. I'm going to go with the Lua. I am going to go with Lua. Now, the thing is that the map size in Lua, right, I have to do this. X equals 10, Y equals 10, Z equals 10, right? Like that. X equals 0, Y equals 0, Z equals 0. If this is all going to be generated, it's not going to be that painful. I'm just saying, like, these are going to... But the thing is, these are going to work as if they are the 0.3 type, but, like, worse. You know? Like, it's just going to be 0.3, but worse. Can I do this? Can I call Fennel from Lua? Like, does this just work? There's no way, right? Like, can I just do this? Does this work? No way this works, right? Let's see. Let's see what it does. Forgetting the self. They really, like, I really wish I could just do colon here and omit the self, because I'm gonna mess this up a lot. I was considering maybe I'll do this tomorrow. I've been streaming almost 2 hours, and I just want to finish like this one feature, which is generating tiles from objects. Right. But I was really thinking of adding to Fennel that ability to declare things in such a way. Now, this, I didn't actually give it a value, did I? No, I didn't. So I have to do, you know, self tile index xz, right, and the value. It's just going to be v. Okay. And line 16. Right. So instead of accumulate all this, unfortunately, we're going to go the procedural road. We're going to go, for the sake of convenience, instead of purity. I know, it's a shame. Layers. I want to just generate a bunch of empty tables that is as long as the yeah. Use fcollect. Yeah. Fcollect. Fcollect I from 1 to map dot size dot y, and give me an empty table. Okay. Then each map dot objects, right? It's not how you do it. You have to do each of object, right? And I actually want to do for each object of map.objects, right? We want to require the object objects, the object type. Okay, so you require that. And get the render off of that. Render. And call that like so. What do we call it with? Start out with, oh, it's funny. I can't just like bounce around as much as I do when I'm not in like a parenthesis type mode here. No, here. Give it a table where, okay, let's just put this up here, even though it's a little bit irrelevant to the code over here. Set tile is going to be level map dot set tile function level map.setTile of interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. So actually put this inside of the let bind, and here's our instance. There you go. Here's where I can do what I want to do. Set tile is a function. Yeah. How do I bind? Is there a bind? Bind. I know there's a partial, right? Partial. Is that what I want? Partial? Yeah, it's partial. Partial set tile is a partial. It's colon set tile is a partial for level map dot set tile with the instance. Yeah. Good. All right. And then it needs to get as the second parameter, as the second parameter, it needs to get itself. Right. Oh yeah, and after all of this let is bound, we get the instance out of this function. Okay. Instead of instance, how about I call it the lowercase level map? How about that? Good enough. All right. This makes the word map kind of annoying, because it's really like the map input data. It's not just like the map, you know. Leave it as it is for now, but so yeah, let's see if this works. Unknown identifier level map. Oh no. Oh no. What do I do now? All right. I have to think about this now. This is annoying. Like, am I not thinking this through? How do I get an instantiated method to run inside of a constructor? Because the object itself is not yet instantiated, right? How best? I can see one or two ways of going about this, but it does not let you do a self-referential let bind. Doesn't surprise me. right? Because it would be kind of weird. And because you want let binds to be able to shadow, right? So like, I get it. That's a fine design decision, but how best? How best? We could do a loose function. Whoa, right? Takes a map. V, right? And then instead of self, wait, is there even a self.layers? I don't think there even is, but it'd be map.layers. Because this is, no, there is a self.layers here. Yeah, the self.layers. Okay, there is. How best? How best? I mean, okay, we'll set the layers of the level map after we've instantiated the level map object. So just a little bit of procedural, just as a treat, right? Just a little procedural as a treat. All right. Okay. Wait, what? Right. Good. I'm gonna look at this code. I think there's something wrong with it, but oh, cube.fnl is bothering. What's it say? Attempt to index local arg2 is a nil value. Okay, so it's not getting a second argument, right? Because of this, I think. Attempt to index field render is a function value. Oh, right. I don't want this inside of the dot. I don't want this inside of the dot operator. So that goes there. That closes that. That has to go there. Okay. Attempt to index local pose. Okay. Is there no pose? There is no pose. There is no pose. Wow, how did I lose the pose? Okay. Line 6. Attempt to index field layers. Okay. Well, I can just do this, like, in here, like, set layers here. Right? Okay. Alright. Okay. that. So layers is that. So we have a level map layers. We don't need to set it at all. And then we can just do for each object, alter the layers. They're mutable anyway. Okay. We're getting there. We're really getting there now. All right. I'm going to do this. Attempt to index local arg2 is a nil value. So it's not receiving arg2. Oh, yeah. How did that happen? Okay. Here we go. Now, level map 6, attempt to index a nil value. So within the constructor, it's calling setTile. It's being fed in, and it is actually calling it in the map.lua. Yeah. Guess no. Wait, is it calling it in a map.lua? I don't see a map.lua. It's not calling it in a map.lua. Huh. 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 Being called in setTile. Oh, it's being called in render. Yeah, it is being called in render. Objects cube.fnl. Okay, right. Cube.fnl is calling render, which is calling setTile. And then it's trying to index a nil value. Meaning self is a nil value. Meaning that the partial... Is the partial working? Is this working? Let's go back to my REPL. So, let's do like, local t is a table. Okay. Print t. It's a table. Now, let's do set t.x to 100. Okay, t.x is 100. Okay. Now we have a function. Okay, right. It's going to take in a table, and it is going to do reset the x value to 200 of the table. And actually, let's do this. tv. I'm just going to set. It's going to set t. How about this? Just set t.x shorthand. There's no colon here. This terminal is really stupid. Set t.x to v. Okay. So if we call, oh wait a minute, I have to. This has to be named. It has to be named. How do I even do this? This terminal's unhelpful. Oh, this terminal's really unhelpful. This REPL is killing me, man. Alright. Function f. F of t 200. Print t at x. It's 200. So if I do partial of t, partial of f with t, right? That's how partial works. Partial of f with t. right? It's a function, okay. So if I do local ff, local ft is partial ft, and this. And if I call ft 400, and then I do print t.x 400. So partial does what I thought it does. Okay. Does what I thought it does. And it says attempt to index a nil value. Okay. All right. So what is the nil value? What is the nil value? Perhaps the problem is that the dimensions are out of range. Yeah, it's because the dimensions are out of range. So, yeah, this is Lua, right? This is Lua. It doesn't like that zero indexing. So now I'm getting a more concrete error. Attempt to call field tile index, which is a nil value. It is a nil value. Right, because it hasn't been bound to the constructor yet when I do set tile. It has not been bound, my friends, to the constructor. So this is I know what this is. This is a problem with my OOP model that I'm trying to develop here. That is what it is. That is what it is. That is what it is. So we actually want to do this. Add to the let bind instance. The instance, which is to get not there. Not there. Instance. Right. Here's the constructor. Here's where it's called. So the constructor, the first argument of the constructor will actually be the instance. Right? So do this. Dot constructor of set meta table of the class to class.mt yes. No. Wait. And the arguments. Okay. This will work. But now, when I instantiate a class, it's going to actually have level map in it, like this. Which means I have to set fields on it. I don't like that. I don't like that. I do not like this. Think about this. thinking. I mean, I know a hacky solution that's going to violate RAII principle, but I really wish I wouldn't have to. Right? Hmm. Sometimes we just end up in a little bind, you know what I mean? Um, the whole problem is that this set tile thing is reliant on things that are not, you know, not precisely defined already. Hmm. So we've got level map. Okay, let's not do this. Let's not do this. Okay, we don't have to do this. Okay. Um, what shall you do when your constructor relies on an instance method to be called? Well, you'd actually want it to be self, right? So then I would do this. After the constructor, set, right? Set self.map to this, right? Don't need a let bind. Set self.tile graphics. Do this. Set self.scroll to this. No. Put it back there. What? Set self.layers that. We're getting so procedural now, but this is what we have to do to like make it work like this. And then finally set, then just for each layer, this. There we go. And why even return self at the end if this whole thing is just relying on modifying self? I mean, isn't that a little bit unnecessary? Because if you return something other than self, it's not going to be instantiated with as a class. So, yeah, we will just not return self. in the constructor. And I have to change all my constructors to work this kind of way. I mean, I could... I hate this. I hate this so much. This is horrible. Nope, 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 nope. I'm going to choose a simpler solution that's less elegant, because I don't like all this. I do not like all this. Instead, we will do this. Function level map dot post constructor. I know it's a little inelegant. Is a little bit inelegant. But we are going to have post constructors now. Okay. Or how about instantiate? Yep. That's right. And then simply, after set metatable in here, we have to like call when class.instantiate. Well, we want this value, so let instance is this when class.instantiate do instance.instantiate instance : instantiate. Okay. Oh, opening brace. There we go. Okay. And then give the instance. All right. And instantiation is this. There. All right. Now, simpler code here. All right. And yeah, so the instantiate is just going to instantiate it. So the constructor, I know this is annoying, but this is how I do it. The optional method x.instantiate. Let's feed it. Let's allow it to be fed the same arguments also, just because. Will be called afterwards if it exists on the for extra work that requires the self to be bound, methods to be bound. All right. That'll do. That will do. All right. Now we have a problem. Not a big problem. Not a big problem. Okay, and oh yeah, iPairs map.objects. It would not be map.objects. Rather, it would be self.map.objects. Okay, no problem. And okay. And then set tile would literally just be, I mean, I could No, you can't quite do it this way. You can't quite do it this way, but that's okay. Just do this. Partial level map dot set tile. It could also be done this way. Self dot set tile dot. So shorter. Okay. Temp to index field size. Where's size? Map dot size. The map has no size. Does it now have no size? Is this true? Is this true? Friends, today we find out if the map has a size. So, the map clearly has a size field, right? Right here. So, what's the problem? What is the problem, man? Like, if I want to do a debug print of map, I'm expecting it to just feed me the map. Oh, derp. Expecting it to just feed me the map. Oh, it's only got objects type cube. That's it? That's it? Really? Really? No, I want to refresh this. How do I do this? Refresh. Dired. Revert. Please show me how to do a dired. Hey. Test only has map.lua in it. Map.lua clearly has. Oh, it does not instantiate the vec3s. Okay. Alright. Now I see what's going on here. So this does not have access. This does not have access to the vec3s. So we do have to do it this way. But we're gonna do this here. So when we're dealing with all this, we want to actually set the map to size vec3 unpack map.size objects What am I doing? I started writing procedural code because someone's giving me an annoying phone call for no reason. vec3 unpack map.size. I have to wrap it again like this. Like literally, what am I doing? And the objects are going to be similarly mapped. We'll do a what was it? The I collect. I collect. Yeah, I collect. I collect. I collect them and map them to a table where the pose is Yeah, I'll have to do props as like a separate field, but it's fine. It's fine. Type pose. Please stop calling me. Jeez. Take a hint. Not answering. So, size 333. Right. Like, please just let me finish my code, man. Size. Bruh. It's irritating, man. I'm getting heated. Some people can't take a freaking hint. Pisses me off. Alright, so. Expected even number of values in table literal. Right. Okay, here we go. For limit must be a number. Right. Okay. So we'll do this in the let bind instead, actually, but it's okay. Okay. Yeah. Stop calling me, dude. Holy shit. He just keeps calling me. Anyway, I don't know. So yeah, this is just how I'm like digesting the data. So for now, I'll just do this to get the second coordinate of it, but like I do want to sort of digest all of the map input data in this sort of way to make it, work well in my code. Stop calling me, dude. Please stop calling. Right. Okay. Oh yeah, I could just do this here, to be honest. So I could just do set self dot layers to this like that. Yeah, that's a little better. Because then I can just do map.size.y because the map is already activated and it just kind of feels right. So yeah, let's do that. Now, right. Okay. attempt to index field size. Okay, so it is getting all the fields, right? I'm printing them out. That's fine. And then on line 20, which is now line 19, self.map.size is not attempt to index field size. Which is a nil value. It's nil. Really, it's nil. Okay, really? Okay, we print self.map after being like processed. Oh, and it is the vec3. Yeah, okay. So my object constructors are broken now. Okay, got it. So vec3 is not returning anything. Why? Because of a reason. Let's see why. So this is closing the when brace, right? That's not what I want it to be closing. I want it to be closing the let brace. Right. So now, perfect. So that is the right data. That's all working. And, okay, what's the issue again? Line 22. Level map 22. Attempt to index field render. Okay. So we require the object, right? And I'm going to do this nicer. So let the object. So this is object name. Let the object be this require. Really need to get better at my parentheses manipulation. Let the object be this require. Oh. Well, Well, we have the object methods and the object data. Yeah, so I guess this is the object data, obj data, right? Yeah, obj data. So set the object to the obj data, then call obj.render with this table, right? And then what's this? And the second argument is the obj data. Okay, right. All right. Expected body expression. Okay. There we go. Give it a body. And okay. Level map 5 attempt to index local arg2 is a number value. Oh, here. Am I really indexing arg2 on line 5 of level map? I am indexing arg2, and it is a number value. And that's because in cube, it's giving me x, y, and z. All right, I'm going to be right back, guys. I should be able to solve this when I get back. All right, I return. Yeah, I understand. I definitely understand why some people don't like Lisps. Oh, I get it. Yeah, I'm starting to get it. But I do feel like most of it is honestly just my lack of skill in like using the editor. And being mindful of you know, the depth that I'm at, pretty much. Other than that, I mean, I don't know. Like I could always just increase the indentation depth or make it more visible or something, just to be sure. But right, so this is being called from cubes render here, set tile vec3 xyz, and it's giving a number value. Really, a number value. So should not be giving a number value, right? And is this a problem with my class instantiation? Well, what did I change in this class instantiation? All right. Not enough to mess it up. No, really not enough. Like, you know, if I go back to the wrapper and put these testing functions into place, should run them just fine. Yeah, so that's not an issue. Also, I'm gonna put these here. No, not here. Not here. Here. I can test things when I need to. Right. I could write a test suite for points, but I am not feeling up to it. So, anyway. Yeah, so it's a number. It's a number, right? In the level map. It says attempt to index a number value, right? And that means that set tile is being called where the okay, right. Bah. Okay, attempt to index field tiles is a nil value. Right, so each layer should actually be not just an empty table, but a table which has an entry called tiles, which is also an empty table. All right, we're getting really far here now. 27 z size. Right, there is no z size now. It is size.z and size.x. Okay. Oh, and another z size. Size.z. Okay. It actually rendered a cube. Oh. Wait, it's actually rendering a cube. Holy shit. Wait, it's actually working, guys. Guys, it's working. It is somewhat. The size should be 3 by 3. This is 2 by 2. And when I try to change the layer, it is giving me an editor error now. So what is this issue here? Self.map.map.layers. And it's actually now just self.layers. Okay. All right. That's trivial. That is trivial. So we can select one of the two layers. And now the only thing is, in the cube render function, right? So the cube itself is in the map.lua, right here, says that its size is 333, yet it is not quite doing a 3x3. So what it's doing is it's going from the pose, which is 1, to the size.x plus the pose.x, which is supposed to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Right? Am I wrong about this? 1, 1, 4. So if anything, it should be making a 4x4 cube. Am I wrong? What happens if we change the size, okay? To make it longer? Oh? Does it not care? It doesn't care? Doesn't care about the Z size. Really? Okay. What about the X size? Doesn't care. What about the position? Oh! I changed the position and now it's bigger. Now it's bigger. What the heck? What is going on here? Okay. Alright. Now, why would this occur? Why would this be occurring? We're changing its position, causes it to vary in size. And does it ever become 4x4? It does. What about... I can't tell if it's 5x5. I need to implement scrolling in the editor. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. It's kind of simple. What is it? Scroll. Oh man, the scroll is hard-coded. I'm gonna put this in the to-do. It's such a trivial thing, right? Editor panning. So trivial, and yet sometimes it's the trivial things that are uninteresting, so they don't get implemented. And that's an issue. Certainly is an issue. So back to the cube renderer. Pose size. Is there a problem in the translator? Yes. There's the problem. Pose is being read as size because of the translator. Okay. Oh, okay. There we go. This is the expected result. Look at that. We can pick any layer that we want. We can even go lower than we're supposed to be able to, but I don't really care. Oh yeah, no, it's not lower than we're supposed to be able to because technically the map is 10 tall. Alright. So yeah. This is buggy and I have bugs to fix. But guys, today in these 3 short hours of effort here, right? It's what you tell your employer. Right, I worked for 2 hours and 48 minutes, but my productivity has been so excellent that I'm going to call it 30 hours. Boss, I worked 30 hours on this. Took me, a whole week. Anyway, but let's make some commits now. Okay. Added instantiate method to classes for okay, figure out what people can figure out what that is. just not going to commit that. And then this is this. This is all part of the same thing. Good. So today we changed the map from the hard-coded glider to a not so hard-coded cube object and created a renderer for the cube that renders from the cube object data into tiles, and we made the level map load that data, and yeah, that's what we did. So I'm just gonna say implemented object system. Okay, and in the to-do.org, we're going to put this as a done. Done. Oh yeah, that shouldn't be in the in progress. And this should be done. Done section. You know, I really don't need all this like this. I'll just do this way. So, good. Tasks. Good. There's our to-do. Alright guys. That's it for today. That is it for today. Oh man. I'm proud of my work. I'm proud of my work. Here's my Git log here. You can see first I clean up a bit of my old work, and then this created vec2 and vec3 types for coordinates. That was a lot of work, but I learned a lot, and I made a beautiful little library here for game developers. I mean, I am going to be using this all the time in this project. Really nice. And yeah, and I implemented my object system in a nice to-do list. So there we go. So I have news here. So I made a Twitter account. Now I'm not logged into anything on this system, but it's aliasing with 2 underscores at the end. I just made this account, or at least I just started using it. And so follow me, aliasing __ on Twitter. Okay. And I also upload my videos to YouTube because some people, I think, favor the YouTube player. So yeah, please go check me out. Oh, and that little pull request I made yesterday, still not merged. Still not merged, not the biggest deal. Not a huge deal breaker here. But yeah, that's it, guys. So, I'll see you next time.